we do have a list. Susan Johnston, please.
Thank you, Town Council, Mr. Mayor. I'm just going to make a few comments about whether or not the Children's Center should stay on the health insurance plan for the town. First and foremost, let me say that I understand the mayor's concerns. And in the past 2 weeks, the Children's Center has spoken with a number of experts in the insurance field because we were concerned. Are there risks? For instance, we spoke to Lori Craig, who is the town's representative from Cigna on this plan, on the town's self-insured insurance plan. I quote what Lori said to me. It's not a problem to have non-employees on the town's self-insured plan. The town defines eligibility, not Cigna's documents. Okay. She also said that there's a negligible premium inflation risk. If there were a catastrophic illness, if one of the Children's Center employees got seriously sick. She laughed. She said, Susan, you have 11 people out of 800. You are insignificant. That didn't make me feel good. I don't like to be insignificant. But in this case, it's probably right. She also said that the funding rate is set based on all 800 in the plan, and that when they set the funding rate, the top expenses are thrown out. They considered them an aberration and not worthy of consideration. And finally, she said, the risk of a really large claim hurting the town coming through the Children's Center is negligible because the town has done a really good job of managing that risk. It has a stop-loss policy in place per person and per the overall plan that caps the town's expenses. So that was Cigna and my conversation with Cigna. Terry is here today. Terry, where are you? Terry from Siegel. Terry is the insurance broker for the town who worked on this insurance plan for the town. In speaking with Terry, and I will quote you, Terry, you said, many towns have non-employees on their self-insured plans. It is a common and acceptable practice. She said, too, that the risk of a large claim hurting the town is, again, negligible because we're such a small percentage of the insured pool. And finally, she said that stop-loss policy protects the town. And though she could not recall any actual stop-loss events where it might have been triggered, she said if one occurred, it would be excluded when calculating the rate for the next year because it was one of the top ones and would be thrown out. We also spoke with an auditor for Travelers Insurance who works on KIRMA. KIRMA was raised in the last session saying we're worried about the town's KIRMA risk. KIRMA stands for the Connecticut where did I put it down? Linda, do you remember? Insurance Policy Management Agency. It deals specifically with workers' comp and liability. Now, the person we spoke to did the KIRMA audits for Bethel and for Ridgefield. This is her field. And she said, there's no risk to the town for KIRMA at all. You have your own liability policy. You're not employees of the town. It's an arm's length relationship. There's no KIRMA risk. So, needless to say, we're a little confused. We're getting the message from one side that says there's huge risk, and we're getting another that says there's no what? Okay, then I'll take my other spot too, or not?
You can.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's about 350, so you have another minute.
Okay, so little history. The Children's Center was approached by the town to be offering low-income families affordable child care back in the 1970s. We didn't ask for this. We were asked to do this. And in doing so, the town said, we will support you. We know it's expensive. But on top of that, the Children's Center then researched and found a huge grant that would actually supply the sliding fee scale funding for the town. Right now, that grant is $325,000 a year. And for 45 years, millions of dollars have come into this town to support the low-income families having childcare so they could work and pay taxes. One of the requirements of that grant, and every year we maintain the eligibility for both the town and for the school to keep that grant money flowing into us. And one of the criteria is we have to have and offer health insurance to our employees. And for years we did. Up until 1990, the school had its own health insurance plan. But then it became just cumbersomely, we couldn't afford it. I don't want to be thrown back into that position with the new plans that might be presented tonight. They're not going to solve the problem for this grant coming into the school. So when I think about the insurance, I really want to think it bigger than that. I want to think about the relationship between the town and the school. 45 years of success, 45 years doing what? Together, we have prepared over 3,500 students to be ready to succeed. It's up? Okay, I'm going to quote one last thing from the plan. May I quote the last quote from the action plan from 1970? Tom says yes?
Just, yeah, read.
A Guide to Tomorrow was written in 1970 from the town. It said, and its words are relevant today, the key here is the ordinary citizen. The people of the town prepared this plan, and it takes into account the particular needs and resources of their own community. The action plan is the product of the people themselves. If this action plan is to be more than another report gathering dust on the shelf, it will be because of you, our citizens, that you are willing to devote as much time and attention to the needs of others and the problems which indirectly affect the town as a whole. The town's Community Development Action Plan began with concerned citizens, and concerned citizens are needed today to assure that the recommendations are thoughtfully considered and implemented with courage and determination. I ask the town council to have the courage and determination to put this action on hold until a comprehensive review is conducted and a decision can be reached that weighs all essential factors. Thank you.